Hi, we're coming to you from Recruiting Trends and Talent Tech Conference here in Florida, where the weather has been absolutely beautiful and nobody wants to put their shoes back on. But from that fact, I wanted to bring you to one of my good friends and colleagues in this industry, specifically somebody who has been a multi-year winner of the Talent Board's Candidate Experience Awards, and very excited to hear some of his great stories. So this is Tony from BASF. And Tony's going to tell you a little bit first. Tell him your title. Tell us, what is BASF? And then I'm going to get into the tough questions.
Sure, Elaine. First of all, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. So my title at BASF is Manager of Talent Acquisition Operations, and I've been there for over 12 years in various roles in talent acquisition. And with regards to BASF, not many people know of us or really know what we do, but that's because we're a materials manufacturer. One of the world's largest chemical companies, almost 80 billion in sales. What I like to tell people when we recruit is look around your office, look around your home, look around your car, wherever I may be talking to you from. 75 to 80% of the things around you have something from BASF in it. We're pretty substantial.
Well, it makes you a very large organization and a lot of complexity in the recruiting, I'm sure, from even understanding what the name brand is all the way through to the different experiences, the types of talent I'm sure you're hiring for. So I know you dove in early with the Talent Board and the Candidate Experience Awards, and if I remember correctly, if you were teased me earlier with the truth, you've applied 5 years and you've won 5 years in a row.
That's right. We like to advertise that quite a bit, that we're a 5-year, multi-year winner, but was won for the 5th year, and we're very proud of that fact.
Well, having a little bit of experience with that program in my past life, I know how difficult it is for organizations to win, and I also know that the entire award process is based specifically on the candidate scores. So tell us a little bit more. Tell us what you're doing to create such a quality candidate experience.
Well, I think for BASF, what we first started looking at and what kind of drove us to really to enhance our candidate experience are some of the results that we were getting back on our new hire surveys. They weren't negative, but we were starting to see a lot of comments around the recruiting process not being a positive one. Some comments around the fact that the job that we sold them on that wasn't matching what was coming out, and so on. So we knew we had to change some things. So our journey kind of took us in the direction of just really starting basic with additional communication. We enhanced our communications working with our HR communications department and our marketing department to make those communications softer, better, and also enhancing them to provide a level of detail for the applicants so that they really understand where they are in the process. Another thing that we did was we enhanced our career page. So we really thought about it from an employment branding standpoint. So now on our career page, you can really customize the page to see content that you are really interested in. It tracks, if you make certain selections, such as I'm interested in human resource roles as an intern in these locations, then it's going to tailor content specifically to that.
That's great.
So we did some initial things there. One of the things that we did internally is that we really drove the importance of the candidate experience with our hiring managers. So much so is that for the first few years, we actually made it part of our overall North American scorecard, where business units were actually judged partly on the level of experience that candidates were receiving.
That is excellent. So not only was talent acquisition accountable, but you made the business accountable to how they treated people as well. Bravo! Congratulations on that. And I think you're here to present as well. You're on a panel, I think, that Jerry Crispin is leading later. And tell us a little bit more about what you're going to share on that panel. Give us some tidbits.
Well, I kind of already peeled the curtain back a little bit on some of it, but some of the tidbits are talking about really kind of understanding your audience at the end of the day. Because that information for us to really understand what the candidates were experiencing, we have to get it somehow. So we've been conducting those surveys continuously, looking at the data and enhancing our practices, and also reinforcing what the best practices should be for the recruiters over time. So that's just some of the things we'll talk about today.
That's very exciting. Well, I also know with your role then in operations, it's not just the candidate experience. There's a lot of other things that you're tasked with doing on a day in and day out basis. Are there other initiatives and things that tie into this that you're working on that you can share?
Well, one of the initiatives that we're working on is trying to automate our process as much as we can so that we can focus a little bit more on adding more value internally, not just to our partners, but also to the candidates themselves. But it's a thin line to walk, because while we want to automate, we still have to make it a personalized type of experience for the candidate. So we're working on some of those things right now. And here at the Recruiting Trends Conference, it's been good to hear about some of the other best practices as well. So learning some stuff here today.
That's great. Well, we always know that technology wants to take us in one direction, but experience matters more.
Absolutely.
You can have all the best technology in the world, right? But if it doesn't get the right candidate, the right experience to say yes to our jobs, well, we haven't done our job yet in talent acquisition either. So very exciting. So now I'm going to push forward a little bit into what's coming and what's going into the next year, because I can never confirm or deny whether anybody's going to participate again in the Talent Board Candy research and surveys. But what do you have on the horizon for candidate experience? What's your next big thing to tackle?
Well, again, it's really trying to provide a better experience for the candidate at the end of the day. We're actually looking at internally creating a group that's more focused on the candidate experience. Now, it's a group that already exists, but it's trying to move them in the direction of really focusing more so on the candidate than just the administrative pieces of just getting the job done, kind of keeping it more top of mind and doing things with the candidate in mind more so as a customer.
And I think I hear a lot of other organizations with similar, the new title, the new evolution of the title, the Candidate Care Specialist. I did have somebody once say they were called the cuddlers, though in this economy that may not be what they're allowed to be called. But those folks that really pay attention to what those candidate needs are and can take care of all of those activities from beginning to end, concierge type of level service. That's excellent. Anything else that you're thinking and focusing on? I know that there's a lot of solution providers here in the market and at the conference that want your attention as well. Anything standing out that sounds interesting?
Well, for me, it's a little bit more about the front end of the funnel. I'd like to make the front end of the funnel more candidate friendly, but at the same time more efficient for our team internally. So I've actually talked to a few vendors here today that sound very intriguing along those lines, so there will be some more investigation for that.
Right. Well, Tony, thank you again for being here. I'm so excited again. Congratulations to BASF. It is not an easy award to win. I know, a little bit of experience with that one. But again, for 5 years, consecutive years, it just goes proof that you guys are really caring about your candidate. And we're excited to hear your stories here at the conference and excited to hear how that's going to continue to change the industry. So thank you again for your time.
Great. Thanks for having me.